Well, it's Sunday the 4th of August, and this is episode 2417 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me at the JMO. I turned 39 last week. I'm not particularly bothered about birthdays usually, but 40 being such a round number and having such a significant place in the cultural psyche, I understand why it has a bit of a ring to it. It does feel like something is coming over the horizon, and I have just 1 year left until it arrives. 1 year left of my 30s. 1 year to do all the things that 30-year-old me hoped he would do with a decade. It's a great motivator. Anyways, the sun has been shining here in London, and my head has been elsewhere, which has meant that an idea hasn't sufficiently seized me this week to turn into a show. The phrase, "the perfect life of others," did pop into my mind the other day. It's a great title. I thought I'd write about the tension between curating one's feed and building a persona online, and the utter codswallop people post on YouTube comments and in the replies on social media. But that's about it. There wasn't much beyond that idea. There's an essay in there somewhere, just not from me, today, this week. Speaking of this week, on Tuesday I dropped episode 1 of season 2 of my long-form interview podcast about creativity and the imagination, Experience.Computer. Here's the trailer. Close your eyes and picture a ball on a table. What colour is it?
Dirty white, dark blue.
Pinky orange.
Gray or white?
Slate blue. It was red.
Blue, basically a globe.
It was a red ball.
I'm Jay Springett, and this is Experience.Computer, an interview show about creativity, perception, and expression. In 2022, I made a life-changing discovery. I have aphantasia, the inability to voluntarily create mental images in one's mind. For 36 years, I thought picture this was just a metaphor. Each episode, I guide my guests through a series of imaginative exercises and discuss how their inner visions shape their creative work and what they think about the tools they use to make their work with. This is a show about how we visualize, remember, and create. And I hope, quite unlike any show you've heard before. Subscribe to Experience.Computer on Substack or wherever you get your podcasts. This month's episode is with multimedia artist, musician, and author Chris Sacknesson. Subscribe on Substack as well as wherever you're listening to this episode to stay up to date. I've got some great guests lined up for this season, that's for sure. In other news, I recently sat down and re-recorded the talk I gave at Human Entities in Lisbon back in June. It's called Solarpunk is Dreaming Green, a 40-minute long talk about the last 12 years of solarpunk, and I explore what I believe to be some of its core ideas. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. For the past few months over on my website, I've only been sending out emails to subscribers when I post a new episode of this show or my week notes. I've started to think about those two things as my newsletter channel, and this has opened up the way I think about my blog and allowed me to just, blog. I've been posting short things, lists, announcements, or whatever recently, and you can read them via RSS or just browse around the site. Because of this, I've been thinking about the indie-wed expression, posse, publish on your own site, syndicate elsewhere. It's an idea that embraces how the web is supposed to work, but I'm not sure it's actually worth doing in 2024. Social media is dead and nobody clicks on links anymore. The crazy reach we all had in the last decade is never coming back. The only thing that we, as creative people, can do online is try and make good work and hope that other people come across it. Or more importantly, people like you, the listener, tell other people about it. Literal word of mouth has always been the only game in town. Speaking of listeners, I'd like to say a big thank you to all the new subscribers who've signed up to a paid tier at thejmo.net recently. The print run of my zine, Start Select Reset, that I send out to paid supporters 4 times a year continues to grow with every issue. It's starting to feel somewhat like a real enterprise. I only need 1 more subscriber at £100 a year, or 2 more at £5 a month, and I can justify buying myself a laser printer to move to home production. This will streamline the whole process and opens up an opportunity to do some experiments that I can't easily do when I'm using the copy shop round the corner. So as I say every year on my birthday episode, if you would like a zine from me and would like to support the show, please head over to thejmo.net/zine and sign up. And last but not least, my essay collection on worldrunning.guide continues to grow. I recently did a big editing pass on it and I'm pleased with where it's at. In addition to thinking about how I wrangle and present everything I make and do, my podcasts, my blog, my newsletters, etc., I've been thinking about what is becoming known as the doc web. I might do an episode on it soon. Publishing worldrunning.guide as a standalone Google Doc at a URL is interesting, and I've learnt a lot and have some thoughts. Anyways, thanks for listening. I'll be back with a normal episode next week.